Welcome you to the 8th chapter. We do recover in the basic text meeting. I'd like to have a moment of silence for the addict who still suffers. Okay. I'm going to read the chapter We Do Recover and then turn it over to people who want to share a little bit about the chapter. We do recover. Although politics makes strange bedfellows, as the saying goes, addiction makes us one of a kind. Our personal stories may vary in individual patterns, but in the end we all have the same thing in common. This common illness or disorder is addiction. We know well two things that make up true addiction: obsession and compulsion. Obsession that fixed ideas take us back time and time again to our particular drug or some substitute to recapture the ease and comfort we once knew. Compulsion that once having started the process with one fix, one pill, or one drink, we cannot stop through our own power of will. Because of our physical sensitivity to drugs, we are completely in the grip of a destructive power greater than ourselves. When at the end of the road we find that we can no longer function as human beings, either with or without drugs, we all face the same dilemma. What is there left to do? There seems to be this alternative: either go on the best we can do to the bitter ends, jails, institutions, or death, or find a new way to live. In years gone by, very few addicts ever had this last choice. Those who are addicted today are more fortunate. For the first time in man's history, a simple way has been proven itself in the lives of many addicts. It is available to us all. This is a simple spiritual, not religious program known as Narcotics Anonymous. When all addiction brought me to the point of complete powerlessness, uselessness, and surrender from 26 years ago, there was no NA. I found AA, and that fellowship met addicts who had also found that program to be the answer to their problem. However, we knew many were still going down the road of delusion, degradation, and death. Because they were unable to identify with the alcoholic in AA, their identification was at the level of apparent symptoms and not at the deeper level of emotions or feelings, where empathy became a healing therapy for all addicted people. With several addicts and some members of AA who had great faith in us in the program, we formed in July of 1953, what we now know as Narcotics Anonymous. We felt that the addict would find from the start as much identification as each needed to convince himself that he could stay clean by the example of others who had recovered for many years. That this was what was particularly needed has proven itself these passing years. That wordless language of recognition, belief, and faith, which we call empathy, created the atmosphere in which we could feel time, touch reality, and recognize spiritual values long last to many of us. In our program Recover, we are growing in numbers and in the strength. Never before have so many clean addicts for their own choice and in free society been able to meet where they please and to maintain the recovery in complete creative freedom. Even addicts said it could not be done the way we had it planned. We believed in openly scheduled meetings, no more hiding as other groups had tried. We believed this differed from all other methods tried before by those who advocated long withdrawal from society. We felt that the sooner the addict could face his problems of everyday living, that just that much sooner would he become a real productive citizen. We eventually have to stand on our own feet and face life on its own terms, so why not from the start? Because of this, of course, many relapsed and many were lost completely. However, many stayed and some came back after their setback. The brighter part is the fact that those who are now our members, many have long terms of complete abstinence and are better able to help the newcomer. Their attitude based on spiritual values of our steps and traditions is the dynamic force that is bringing increased unity to our program. Now we know that the time has come when they tried old lies. Once an addict, always an addict, will no longer be tolerated by either society or the addict himself. We do recover. I'm going to turn it over to Fred and let him read a little bit.
My name's Fred. I'm an addict.
Hi, Fred.
Hi, everybody. Recovery begins with surrender. From that point forward, each of us is reminded that a day clean is a day one. In Narcotics Anonymous, our attitudes, thoughts, and reactions change. We come to realize that we are not alien and begin to understand and accept who we are. As long as there have been people, addiction has existed. For us, addiction is an obsession to use the drugs that are destroying us, followed by a compulsion which forces us to continue. Complete abstinence is the foundation for our new way of life. In the past, there was no hope for an addict. In Narcotics Anonymous, we learned to share the loneliness, anger, and fear that addicts have in common and cannot control. Our old ideas are what got us into trouble. We weren't oriented toward fulfillment. We focused on the emptiness and worthlessness of it all. We could not deal with success, so failure became a way of life. In recovery, failures are only temporary setbacks rather than links in an unbreakable chain. Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness to change are all new attitudes that help us admit our faults and ask for help. We are no longer compelled to act against our true nature and do things we don't really want to do. Most addicts resist recovery, and the program we share with them interferes with their using. If a newcomer tells us that they continue to use drugs in any form and suffer no ill effects, there are two ways we can look at it. The first possibility is that they are not an addict. The other is that their disease has not become apparent to them and that they are still denying their addiction. Addiction and withdrawal distort rational thought, and newcomers usually focus on differences rather than similarities. They look for ways to disprove the evidence of addiction or disqualify themselves from recovery. Many of us did the same thing when we were new, so when we work with others, we try not to do or say anything that will give them the excuse to continue using. We know that honesty and empathy are essential. Complete surrender is the key to recovery. Until abstinence is the only thing that ever worked for us. In our experience, no addict who has completely surrendered to this program has ever failed to find recovery. Narcotics Anonymous is a spiritual, not religious program. Any clean addict is a miracle, and keeping the miracle alive is an ongoing process of awareness, surrender, and growth. For an addict, not using is an abnormal state. We learn to live clean. We learn to be honest with ourselves and think of both sides of things. Decision-making is rough at first. Before we got clean, most of our actions were guided by impulse. Today, we are not locked into this type of thinking. We are free. In our recovery, we find it essential to accept reality. Once we can do this, we cannot find it necessary to use drugs in an attempt to change our perceptions. Without drugs, we have a chance to begin functioning as useful human beings. If we accept ourselves and the world exactly as it is, we learn that conflicts are a part of reality, and we learn new ways to resolve them instead of running from them. They are a part of the real world. We learn not to become emotionally involved with problems. We deal with what is at hand and try not to force solutions. We have learned that if a solution isn't practical, it isn't spiritual. In the past, we made simple situations into problems. We made mountains out of molehills. Our best ideas got us here. In recovery, we learn to depend on a power greater than ourselves. We don't have all the answers or solutions. We can learn to live without drugs. We stay clean and enjoy life if we remember to live just for today. We are not responsible for our disease, only our recovery. As we begin to apply what we have learned, our lives begin to change for the better. We seek help from addicts who are enjoying lives free from the obsession to use drugs. We do not have to understand this program for it to work. All we have to do is follow direction. We get relief through the 12 steps, which are essential to the recovery process, because they are a new spiritual way of life that allows us to participate in our own recovery. From day one, the 12 steps become a part of our lives. At first, we may be filled with negativity and only allow the first step to take hold. Later, we have less fear and can use these tools more fully to our greater advantage. We realize that old feelings and fears are symptoms of our disease. Real freedom is now possible. As we recover, we gain a new outlook on being clean. We enjoy a feeling of release and freedom from the desire to use. We find that everyone we meet eventually has something to offer. We become able to receive as well as to give. Life can become a great adventure for us. We come to know happiness, joy, and freedom. There is no model of the recovered addict. When the drugs go and the addict works the program, wonderful things happen. Lost dreams awaken and new possibilities arise. Our willingness to grow spiritually keeps us buoyant. When we take the actions indicated in the steps, the results are a change in our personality. It is our action that is important. leave the results to our higher power. Recovery becomes a contact process. We lose the fear of touching and being touched. We learn that a simple, loving hug can make all the difference in the world when we feel alone. We experience real love and real friendship. We know that we are powerless over a disease which is incurable, progressive, and fatal. If not arrested, it gets worse until we die. We cannot deal with the obsession and compulsion. The only alternative is to stop using and start learning how to live. When we are willing to follow this course and take advantage of the help available to us, a whole new life opens up. In this way, we do recover. Today, secure in the love of the fellowship, we can finally look another human being in the eye and be grateful for who we are. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. You want to share with me?
My name's Fred, and I'm still an addict.
Fred.
I'm grateful that Terry asked me to help share on We Do Recover. Been around for a few 24 hours. Once urges of wanting to use, started diminishing, I started having a little bit of hope. And I think it was a while on down the line, like they were talking about dreams in there. Dreams being rekindled, and I started having some old dreams that, sometimes when I was using, like I was thinking about having a piece of land, and there were, ideas like that would always go up in smoke, and come to this fellowship a while back, pretty much a derelict, pretty much destitute. And today, I guess I'm attempting to get that land. I have a house today, and I'm not saying I'm totally responsible about it. I got a little duplex in Wisconsin, but it's hard to pay the bills. To be real honest with you, it's real unmanageable sometimes. But it's part of the dream that when I was using, I could never have that. And it's just one example. But through learning of the spirituality through the steps of this fellowship, I think all things are possible. Any of the dreams that I might have had, I can still fulfill. The serenity, the personal growth has been here through NA, and I never had that when I was using. And today I can change and be changeable, and I can be teachable. And I couldn't do that when I was using. My self-obsession would let me. I'm real grateful for this text. It's opened my eyes, and it's made me more willing to work the steps and to try and live them. Thanks.
Thanks, Fred. I'm Terry, and I'm an addict. When I was asked to chair this workshop, and I thought, well, I better read this chapter a few more times. But the more I read it, I started realizing that I'm experiencing what they're talking about, and that's a good feeling for me. And they talk about the obsession and compulsion in the first part of the chapter, and I had that, and it seems like I have that in some of my addictions today. Some of the things I still want to hold on to, and but by being around and trying to work the program to the best of my ability, that I'm starting to learn that I don't have to do the things over and over again that they're talking about. I learned maybe by doing it twice, instead of 10 times. And, I learned that by opening up my mind, and letting some of the information I get from other addicts and meetings that, what I try, works. If I take it from somebody that has a suggestion, and it works. It's kind of unreal for me. It's like I was always going down the road knowing that I was in control, but the results were no good. And then I take these suggestions from other people that were doing the same thing that I was doing, using and being out of control, and it works. The first part of it says we make strange bedfellows, and I believe that. It's real weird that, an addict can help another addict. And I couldn't understand that at first. You know, they talk about honesty and open-mindedness and willingness to try, and when I do them things, it works. When I don't, you know, I'm miserable, and I'm the one that pays for it. I don't know, that's, you know, We Do Recover is great, you know, and I'm really getting a big picture of that this weekend. You know, I've been getting rushes up and down my back, and, you know, I've been experiencing things that, you know, I haven't been able to experience when I was using. And, you know, being able to love people, and you know, we do recover. That's great. That's, you know, I just got done talking to someone a little while ago, and I saw him in a hospital down in Indianapolis, and he's up here, you know, and, you know, it works. We do recover together. You know, not on, I know I can't do it, but I know that we can. And it means a lot to me. It says here in the format that, you know, I can turn it over to anybody that wants to share about, you know, We Do Recover. If they, you know, if anybody wants to share, you can just walk right on up here and talk a little bit. You know. All right, I love it.
Didn't know I had to get here.
Hi, everybody. I'm an addict, and my name is Lori.
Hi, Lori.
And I love this topic, talking about recovery, because it's real important to me. Sometimes I get really discouraged hearing about just how it was and all the war stories and people being really negative. It's real hard sometimes to be positive when you go to meetings over and over and over and people don't talk about recovery and how it is today and what they're doing to try to live in the here and now and in the moment. And that's where I'm trying to be. Just to qualify a little bit, I shot dope for a long time, for about 8 years straight, and then for about the last 10 off and on. I've been trying to get clean for over 9 years. And through the grace of God, I've got 11 and a half months. And it's the longest period of sobriety I've ever had. But I would not do things that people told me to do in this program. Like Wendy was talking about last night. Get a sponsor, call people. I thought I was different, and I had a lot of false pride, and I'm sure none of you know about that. But my pride almost killed me, because I thought I was so different and had that terminal uniqueness that I think we all at one time or another think we have. And today I need to share about myself, you know, and let other people know who I am and how I'm feeling. But more importantly, that I am recovering, because I always felt so hopeless. I started using when I was 14, and I'm 33 now, and that's a pretty hopeless feeling, you know, to watch all these other people do what I thought were such normal things and not have any problems with them. You know, and I always felt like such a failure I've got 2 children, and that I couldn't be what I wanted to be for them. You know, that Mommy was always going in the bathroom locking the doors, and I know they knew something was wrong. But I like what you said, Fred, about once that obsession, once that compulsion and that desire to use leaves, I want to know where to go with that now. And I'm really trying to work on being more and more in touch with my higher power, because I know that God is the one that I have to turn to. And through this program, I have found a higher power, and I'm not ashamed today to have one. You know, I never thought that I would ever talk to anybody about God, because they might think I was some kind of religious fanatic, and I'm getting better and better about what, you know, not caring so much what people think about me, because this is me and this is my life, and I want to be not well, because I'm afraid if I ever think I'm well, that I'll be in trouble. But I want to be recovering and for that to be an ongoing process. And I don't like to stay in the negative. You know, I used to always be so depressed, just in these black depressions, and I was suicidal for so many years. I didn't know how to be any other way. And I've even had periods of sobriety where I was suicidal in sobriety. You know, I kept my pistol loaded because I never knew when I might need it. That was going to be my out. And today I don't have any other options. Today I really don't want to use. I really like being clean. You know, I really love it. And I never understood what people meant when they said, I love being clean and sober. I never had that feeling in my gut, you know, what that meant. And today I know what it means for me is that I'm free. You know, I'm free in my addiction. I'll never be free from it. But I love to hear about recovery because the negative things, I've had enough of those. I don't want to be a negative person anymore. And I know that I have to act myself into the right way of thinking because my best thinking got me here. And I cannot do this on my own, but I have to take action. I have to do things that I don't want to do. I have to go to meetings. I have to call my sponsor. I have a wonderful sponsor today. She's an alcoholic, but she has some kind of understanding. I'm sure it's that bond, because to me it's all the same. Any addiction is all the same. And I know people get into a lot of controversy about this, but it's all the same to me. And this woman has helped me so much, and I want what she has. She has about 6 years, and she is recovering. And she came from a very hopeless situation. I know that I can have things, but I have to be careful to keep those in perspective. You know, we've just moved into a beautiful house, and I remember worrying so much about the finances because there were always hot checks, and you know, I always sold everything I had, all my jewelry and everything. And I remember people telling me, your finances can always right themselves. And I remember thinking, well, you don't know, you haven't lost everything like I have. But I did that to myself, you know, I did that so I could shoot dope. And I can have those things, but really and truly today, the most important thing is for me to have some serenity inside and to keep my program at the top of my list. Someone told me when I started over again this time, I didn't know if I could do it, but I knew I couldn't use again. And I feel that I really surrendered to my disease for the first time in 8.5 years then. And I was just brought to my knees. And this man told me that I had to be absolutely self-centered when it came to my program. And I knew for the first time what that meant, that I had to keep my program first, that I had to work the steps, that I didn't have to worry about helping everybody else in the program, which is what I always tried to do. People would always come to me, you know, and I was a lot like Wendy, who talked last night. You know, people looked up to me and they came to me, but inside I was really just a scared person. And today I can talk about my fear, and I can also talk about the hope that I have, and to know that I don't have to shoot dope ever again, and I don't have to do it today, one day at a time, but I know in my heart that I don't have to do it for the rest of my life. And I can accept that if I want this program, and I want the things that I see other people in it who I admire, if I want those things, that I won't use for the rest of my life, one day at a time. And that's easy for me to accept today. I'm really grateful I could come to this convention and receive the hope that I get from seeing so many clean addicts, because I went to one in 77 in San Francisco, and there were only about 800 people. And I understand there's, 3,000 registered. I might be wrong about that, but this to me is recovery, being here and sharing and coming to not only to receive what this convention can offer, but to try to give, because when I get out of myself, I'm a better person. If I walk into a meeting not thinking, what can I get out of this meeting? I'm not getting anything out of it, I better go to another meeting, then I'm in trouble. But if I go in thinking maybe I can share a little bit or tell someone that it will be better tomorrow if you hang on today, it will be better, then I receive, because the program tells us that we have to give it away to keep it. And I can't be selfish in that way, because I won't grow. And I don't want to take up all the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing? My name is Butch, and I'm an alcoholic and drug addict. And I wanted to come to this one, because recovery is where it's at. Recovery is where it's at for me. And it's a daily thing, All we have is today. I can't stay clean on yesterday's convention. I can't stay clean on yesterday's meeting, or if I spent all night sharing with somebody, I can't stay clean today on that. That helps me. But I got to do this thing every day. What we have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual progress. And I have to do that every day. I thank God every day that I came into the program the way I came in. I came in, I was a geek, I came in on my knees. I didn't have, I couldn't think, I couldn't make any decisions. But I hooked up with some good people, and they told me what to do. And I allowed myself to be open enough and take all the suggestions and try and do more. I did everything that they suggested. They would have told me to jump off the Roslyn Bridge and repeat the third step on the way down. I'd say, okay, when do you do that? Because I wanted what they had. They had lights in their eyes. They were always breaking balls. They were crazy, but they were happy. And that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be crazy and happy. And then they told me how they got it. They told me that they read the books every day, that they turned their will and their life over on paper every day. They read a lot of books that aren't program books, but they were spiritual books, daily books. And I read all them too. And what I got today is a result of all that work, and I do it every day. And a lot of times I keep trying to do it by myself, and I got to prove to myself that I still need you people. I still need my higher power, because I try to do it by myself and I can't. There's no way. And then every time, I try to do it. Maybe I go a couple days, and I'm not sharing too tough, and I'm saying, oh yeah, everything's all right, How you doing, Butch? Yeah, everything's okay. Yeah, fine. And I'm not doing my writing. I'm not doing my reading, and it shows. A couple days, bad attitudes. Thinking about picking up. I'm thinking about using again, or my disease doesn't come to me in sometimes just like that. After, I got a couple of days, and my disease gets to me other ways. My disease temper through my, through other, my impatience, through I don't have any patience with anybody. And all I wanted to say was that it's a very daily thing, you know, and we got to do this thing every day, and it's practice, man. It doesn't come right away, but if I allow myself to just, you know, to just keep doing it, keep taking suggestions, be willing to do anything, and it comes. And as a result, you were talking about the dreams come. I have dreams today. All my dreams have come true. You know, what I got today, no way. I couldn't even imagine a life like I got today. To be able to hug somebody. It says in a book, a loving hug, you know, sometimes that's all we need. And I can do that today, you know. I can hug somebody and that I don't even know, and really mean it, you know. I got a lot of feelings inside, and I got a lot of things, and I can talk about it today. I got no secrets, and that's a freedom that I never had. And it's all because of you people in these 12 steps in this book. I was just on vacation all last week, and that's all I read. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful life. And thanks a lot.
I'm Eddie. I'm an addict. Hi, Ed. Feel like I'm at a press conference. Shit, I done forgot what I was going to say. My first 9 months of abstinence prior to Narcotics Anonymous was a thing of kind of like a hill I was climbing. That at one point I was going to be recovered. And there's a lot of delusion in that, especially after you get there. You know, you're not recovered. But somewhere around 9 months, I found surrender to Narcotics Anonymous, and I found out what a recovering addict was. Not totally, I'm still learning, daily basis. And it is a lot of things to me. It takes on all shapes and sizes. I don't know. I have to refer to the book a lot to express myself. And I'm from Alabama, and a lot of people got a term down there. It's called book thumping. But I just do it because it makes me more capable of expressing myself. And one of the things that it says in step 1 in chapter 4, it says that social responsibility does not equal recovery. And like I was saying in the beginning, that was something that was a goal that I was trying to attain, is to reach a level of social responsibility and productivity and acceptability, which is all great, but that was supposed to be where I was, you know, going to go, as far as I was going to go. And with that attitude, I became very complacent spiritually, emotionally, and maybe not complacent. Maybe I was moving, but I was moving backwards again. And there was no relapse, but it did get pretty rough. For me today, recovery is something that has to be ongoing. It has to have a forward motion to it. And it involves doing this. And like you were saying, sponsors, meetings, telephone calls, all those real simple things that hurt in the beginning, and after a while they say not to apply. I was talking to a close friend of mine last night, and his idea was kind of similar to mine. I used drugs, all shapes and sizes and forms and all, for about 10 years, but and I've been clean for about 4.5 years, but I have to look, I can't really look at it that way. The way he says is that I've had this disease since 30 years, since his early childhood, as far as he can remember. And to me, that's saying, I've had the disease of addiction as far as my memory can take me, as far back as I can see, and that's kind of important. I had obsessions, I had compulsions, I had self-centeredness. I had those things that, really pinpoint what we do in our actions and our disease. And I've heard a lot of times, it's kind of in an imbalanced situation where you have X number of days clean, X number of days recovery, and you have all this X number of days in your active addiction. And I think there's some truth in that, but I don't totally believe in it. But I can see where, I'm a real child, child of God and a child in recovery, and it's a real serious thing. I'm kind of like you. I don't like to get into all this morbid stuff about recovery, but it's a good thing to remember that for me, because especially in Alabama, where there's not a lot of addicts recovering in Narcotics Anonymous down there, and it's real easy to it's real easy for me to get caught up in I have X number of years and they have X number of months or days. You know what I mean? And I have tools in the program to help me with that. I have people outside of town. I get by real good. I had to grow through pain, but recovery, as far as putting it into a simple word, how I feel, the good part about it is it's on the back of your shirt, brother. I mean, it's in big words too. It's happy, joyous, and free. And in that chapter where it talks about indescribable joy and something that's better than sex, those feelings you get overwhelming, And recovery is, it's not a thing of morbidity to you or as a somber type lifestyle. I have all kinds of well, never mind. But it feels good to be here. I guess I'm still asleep because I'm kind of like. Love you.
Thanks.
Hi, my name's Steve and I'm an addict.
Hi, Steve.
I haven't been in the program real long, a couple of months, but I have to see myself recovering today. The biggest thing I see is that I'm listening to people, and I came in, like Butch said, a real geek into the program about 3 months ago. And the only thing I had was pride left, I knew what I'd been through and where I'd been, and I thought I was pretty good just to be alive, And it must have come from my higher power because, when I was in the service, I'd go to jail, I'd get my stripes because I was right, and I could, I thought I could change the whole fucking Marine Corps. And they were all pinheads, and I knew what was going on. And I came to realize, not through my own power by any means at all, because I always thought I was right, and I thought I'd hang on to that. But I listened to people, I stayed away from the places they told me to, and I threw my shoes under my bed and prayed to something I didn't even know what the fuck it was. And I'm here this weekend, and I'm clean today, and that's a miracle for me. Since I can remember, I always wanted to be alone, and if I had to be with people, I wanted to be fucked up. And I'm not fucked up, and I'm here. I don't feel real comfortable. I isolate myself a lot of times, but just being around people and not using dope is great for me today. That's all. Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, come on, we got a little bit there. All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat, and I'm a very grateful recovering addict.
Hi, Pat.
Feels really good to be here this morning and talking about recovery. You know, I was sitting here thinking and how, you know, important that book is to me, you know, because when I came to the program, we didn't have the book. You know, we used the other programs 12 by 12. And there was about 5 of us sitting around and talking about working the steps and how we work them, you know, in our lives. And those 5 people are still clean today. And, you know, today we have this book and we do the same thing. You know, it's all the same. And I'm really grateful for that. You know, I can think about those people, and those are the people I had to get honest with. You know, I had to tell them what was really happening, and I couldn't bullshit them. And, you know, and those are the people I got real angry with because they weren't doing it my way. You know, and I told them so. And it was like lots of times, you know, I go to meetings, you know, I say, you guys ain't got this right, you know, you're not doing it the right way, you know. And by the end of the meeting, I had to get up and I had to make amends in front of those people. You know, and those are the things that I've learned that I had to do so I could stay clean. You know, I have to admit when I'm wrong. And it's not so hard today. And it seems like I grow a lot from that. You know, when Fred was talking about dreams and stuff, about 8 years ago, I went to school for electronic engineering technician. And I flunked out, or I quit. I'm not sure. I can't remember. You know, I really can't remember. But I've been in the program about 3 years, and a year ago, when I went to New York City, I got one of those keychains with the Serenity Prayer on the back that says miracles happen. And in this past year, I've been sitting in school taking tests, looking at that keychain every time I took a test. You know, and to me, that's a miracle because I'm going to school for that today, and I've got a year done. I've got a year to go. And for me, that was only made possible through this program and staying clean and all the people in it. And I'm really, really grateful for that. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Robin. I'm a drug addict, alcoholic from Long Island. Oh, God, these things scare the shit out of me. We do recover is like a big thing for me because I know I recover, you know, through the way of the program because I can't recover on my own. There's no way. And I know because you people tell me that, hey, you're acting like a real shithead. You know. You tell me that my attitudes are bad, look at this, look at that. You know, you just give me suggestions. You don't tell me what to do. Because people have told me to do it my whole life, you know, and that's where I got where I was, you know. And on the 8th of this month, I'll have 11 months, God willing, you know. And that's the longest time I've ever had. And 3 years ago, I came into this program, and I was doing it for everybody else, you know. I was doing it for my mother, for my father, for my brother, for my dog. I would do it for anybody, you know, but me. And today I'm doing it for Robin because I do have a choice, you know. That's why I like this on the back of my sweatshirt, you know. We have a choice today. And because each day when I wake up, I do have a choice, you know, to live or die. And that's as simple as that, you know, because if I do pick up the dope, you know, the Lord, I'm going to die, you know, and I don't want to die today. I want to live clean, you know, like Butch says, happy, joyous, and free, you know. 80% of the time I'm pretty happy, joyous, and I'm free. You know, that freedom is beautiful. You know, I'm not bonded by drugs anymore, you know, and chains, you know. Like Dan Egan says, you know, we had our own prisons, you know, even though I wasn't in jail or in a prison at any time, I had my own prisons, you know, and I couldn't get out of them. And through you people I have, you know, little by little. And I have a sponsor today that's real good, you know, and I don't call her, you know, I don't use her like I should. But I'm getting better, you know. I talk to her a lot. We get along real good. She's I can relate to her because she's just like me, you know. And she's hard, you know. She tells me when I'm fucking up, you know. And, you know, just to say that I have gotten better because, you know, fuck was every other word out of my mouth. I didn't know any other thing because I thought that emphasized everything. Yo, man, I'm going to fucking kill you, you know? And it was like, whoa. But like I have a saying, I'm talking recovery, you know, and I used to say I'm talking fucking recovery, and I took the fuck out, you know? I can say I'm talking recovery today without saying, you know, I'm talking fucking recovery so someone listens to me, you know? I still have a tendency to, you know, have to stand out in the crowd, have to be have to be real aggressive, you know? But it's getting better, you know? I'm learning how to be assertive rather than aggressive, and to be a power of example rather than a preacher, you know? So I have a tendency to say, do it this way, you know, and you'll stay clean. A lot of people could get high the way I stay clean, you know? But for me, I'm staying clean one day at a time, you know, through you people. And I love this program, and thank you.
Hi, my name's Dom. I'm an alcoholic and an addict. And I wasn't going to come up here, but Robin's a real piece of work. And I see recovery through Robin, you know. And people were hard on me too. Recovery means a lot to me today because really it's the only thing I have. I came in these rooms 97 pounds on my way out with a pre-serrated liver. And I don't have to die today one day at a time, you know. I was sick enough that I didn't even know I was dying. And it's not the pre-cirrhotic liver that keeps me clean either because you can't scare addicts. But it's real important, you know, this is my first convention and I'm keeping it really easy because it's not so much the crises in my life that screw me up, it's the good feelings I have. And these past couple of weeks have been real special to me. I'm celebrating a birthday when we go home. And I started to realize that it's really beyond my wildest dreams. I never imagined that I could stay clean for 2 years, one day at a time. And I met so many people here, you know, and it's funny when I came here because, the more knowledge I get, it seems the more cunning my disease becomes. You know, it finds new ways to entrap me. I could see the growth in myself these past 2 weeks, and that's what's amazed me. I've become overwhelmed. With the help of these people, I allow you to love me, and that's something I never did. You know, when I first came around and you hugged me, I hugged like, you know, 3 feet away, and still sometimes it's hard. Somebody hollered at me in the elevator the other day because I stuck my hand out and shook somebody's hand, and so I went and hugged them. But you know, this is a miracle to me because I can't believe it. I came in, I was sitting at a meeting, and somebody was talking from, and please don't take offense, from Kentucky or something, you know, and I thought, what do they know about addiction? You know, I'm so self-centered in New York, it's ridiculous. So this was really good for me. It opens my eyes. I can't believe all you people are here. I can't believe it works the same all over the country. I'm just totally amazed, and that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to let you know I was here, and I love you all very, very much, and you're all important to me. And it's good to be hard, and I'm a person. I went to people. I could find 100 people that'll tell me how good I am. I don't go to them when I'm in pain. I go to the people that are going to tell me what's wrong with me, because sometimes I don't always see, you know. And I got friends today, and they put me to sleep when I came here because I was sick when I came here. It was really good, and I didn't want to miss nothing, you know. I came here under the impression that I had to know everybody's name when I left, and everybody had to know me. And I found some more character defects that when I go home I'm going to try to work on one day at a time, you know. But it's okay. And they told me keep coming back, it gets better. And I heard it really good on a tape that I heard. I got no place else to go, you know. Thanks a lot.
I'm Terry, and I'm an addict. I'd like to thank everybody for sharing today. It's been real good for me. I'd like to thank Fred for helping me because I was full of fear. And I said, Fred, come and help. And he did, and I love him. We're going to cut a little short because anybody that wants to go to the bid meeting, you know you got to be in there before 10 o'clock is what I was told. So y'all help me close the meeting with Serenity Prayer followed by the Lord's Prayer. And a group hug.